Now, the England footballer Jordan Nobbs has called for more research to be done on a potential link between periods and serious injuries. Nobbs is going to miss out on next month's World Cup after suffering an ACL injury, a cruciate injury, last year. Something she's revealed happened on the first day of her period. More sports are now monitoring periods and what impact they might have on athletes' performance. As part of the BBC's Change the Game season, Shanahan has been finding out more.
6 months ago, England footballer Jordan Nobbs was on the road to a World Cup.
Splendid finish from Jordan Nobbs.
But that all changed in November. She suffered a serious knee injury, tearing her ACL. She was playing for Arsenal at the time, and while there could have been other reasons, Nobbs thinks that there was one thing that stood out for her. She had just started her period.
I was very tired leading up to that week. I was on the first day of my menstrual cycle, and yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not one for saying it was because of that, but you know, the facts on how many women have done their knee and been on their menstrual cycle is very high. So, you know, I don't know if it was down to that, but it's a very high factor.
So, is there a potential link between periods and injury? Emma Ross is a physiologist with the English Institute of Sport, working with Olympic and Paralympic athletes. I went to meet her to understand the science behind it.
We know that the symptoms or the effects of those hormones will provide a challenge to you as an elite performer, and one of those times is when your estrogen is very high. That can actually affect the looseness of your joints, and if that knee joint is less stable at a certain time of your cycle, it's more prone to being injured. And we know that things like ACL injury is more common in females, and when it occurs at a specific time of the cycle.
One of the sports now monitoring periods is Great Britain's women's hockey team.
Great Britain have won the Olympic gold medal!
And it all came down to small margins, something they were prepared for all along.
Every morning we'd wake up and fill in what we'd call a monitoring sheet, and it was in the form of an app on our phone, so it was really easy. Roll over, pick up your phone, and it recorded your heart rate, and then you had to do how you felt, what the colour of your urine was, how many hours sleep you had, did you have muscle soreness, and then one of the other questions was it day one of your menstrual cycle, so did you start your period that day? If you did, you literally just hit yes, and then that was literally the be-all and end-all of that question.
The English Institute of Sport is now educating coaches and athletes about all aspects of the female body in the run-up to the Tokyo Olympics next year, something that's welcomed by the athletes too.
The more we can do about it in the build-up to Tokyo, absolutely. You know, if we can make those marginal gains in those 1%ers, absolutely critical.
But there's still work to do.
I think the taboo around periods has definitely been some sort of culture. I think the more open we can be and talk about periods, because they aren't a normal part of life, they are a normal part of life for women, I think it can only be a good thing.
Shanahan, BBC News.